Oh,
That's amazing.
hey everybody. How are you today? Happy Star Trek Tuesday. It is crazy. There's so much news to talk about in the Star Trek and sci-fi universe. First of all, there's a legacy update straight from the showrunner's mouth, or potential showrunner's mouth, or hopeful showrunner's mouth, or however
Mhm.
that works. Terry Metalis, we've got an update there. Also, where were you on January 16th, 1995? Many of us were in
That's
front of
easy.
a many of us were in front of a television that was way too big by today's standards. It was like,
Mhm.
it was like you
I
could,
was just being born.
me too, or I was, yeah,
Oh, same.
Born into Voyager fandom.
Yeah.
yeah. And well, the answer is, of course, that Voyager Caretaker first premiered. It is 29 years old today. Wow, Voyager, you're practically 30. What are you going to do next year? What else is in the news? We've got so much to talk about, everybody. There's some things going on social media that are pretty zany as well that you may enjoy hearing about. Also, there's some actors. There's kind of a growing list of actors that have not been in Star Trek, but kind of want to be. There's some
Mm.
strange new worlds information. Oh, this one's really exciting. Doug Jones, Saru, gives us a little hint as to what's going on with Discovery season 5. And it's
Ooh.
something that we were wondering about just like a week or two ago on one of these live shows. We were like, are they going to do this? Are they going to do that?
Oh,
It's
yeah.
about what they added once Discovery found out that they were going to be canceled.
Oh.
What did they add? And we were wondering, did they just like pepper in these extra little bits and pieces? What's the situation here? So we'll
Cool.
talk about all that and way more stuff with Dr. Anne Marie Siegel.
I, who got her first Star Trek magazine today in the mail. Like, I wanted this since I was a little girl. It's like the official Star Trek magazine, and you'd sneak
Mhm.
into the mall bookstore and like try and read a page or two, like while you were passing. I'm like, it's finally happening. So I got into my mailbox and like skipped upstairs. So excited.
That
Awesome.
is the coolest thing ever. We
Mhm.
should
Yeah,
have led with that
it's amazing.
because you remember how, well, we'll talk about that a little
Do I
later, but
rip out every
really,
page and hang them on my walls?
the Star
Yeah.
Trek magazine seemed like the height of
Yes.
luxury back in the day. Like,
Yes.
there's an entire magazine about Star Trek,
We didn't have the internet. That's all we had.
right?
The
That was
fan club
StarTrek.com.
magazine.
It's
Yeah.
like this, Grey Poupon, and Viennetta thing.
Oh my
Mostly
gosh,
this.
Viennetta.
That's
What's
the height of
that?
luxury, that trifecta. That
Are
was
you
that like
kidding me?
Briar's, that Briar's
Ice
dessert
cream.
cake.
Yeah.
And the
Oh,
Okay.
commercials were all like, ooh, luxurious, satiny, and like they'd be like cutting a piece like really, and it would just like slide off the rest of it. And it had like a black background, so it was like seductive.
Was it chocolatey?
Yeah.
All
part of
right.
it.
Well, like
Uh,
ish. Like, yeah.
Look, everybody, Jenny R. Johnson is here.
Oh,
Of
hello.
course.
Yes.
All right. So
Tuesday.
is Melissa Longo.
Oh, really? Hi.
Mostly. She's
Maybe.
wearing a gorgeous Ferengi family shirt that you could get at our Star Trek and Chill online store. Just click the Shopify link in the description box below, and it'll take you right over there. I think Jenny R.
Mhm.
Johnson's wearing a shirt that represents the art that she has made herself.
I am. It's true. It's mine. Yeah.
See? It's a great color, too. My
Thank
name's
you.
Ryan T. Husk, and I am wearing a shirt that says Subspace Rhapsody. And I want
is-
people in the live chat to argue and fuss about it. What's with the singy song episode? Or this is the greatest episode ever. We see a lot of that in the groups. People are like, it's not the best, it's the third best. No, it's the second best, you idiot. Boy, they really go at it.
It's
But
not
that's
just a
fun.
shirt, it's a kind of conversation piece.
Yes.
It's a statement.
Yeah, it's a
Mhm.
pickup move.
All right. Everybody that's listening in on any audio podcast forum or platform is the word I meant to say, please give us a 5-star rating and a nice review. We'd really appreciate it. If you're watching on YouTube, give this video a like, subscribe to the channel, and hit that bell icon for notifications so that you're never left wondering when we're going live. You can just be told when we're going live when it happens.
I have
Hello.
to tell you, sorry, the cutest comment so far comes from Dr. Muhammad Noor, who says, oh, shoot, where'd it go? Hold on. The conversation's moving too fast.
That's what happens
Okay,
all the time.
That's awesome. I probably watched it with my fiance at the time.
Oh,
Aww.
She's a keeper.
that's so
Mhm.
nice.
Aww.
Star Trek bringing people together. See?
Mhm.
Also want to say a quick hello to Dave Gregory, Fran Iverson, Chuck A, Def Kiss 83, Dan Wolp, Rico E. Anderson, the Matt Boardman. We've got Chuck A, Allison Leachhide, Back of the Head, that's John Orchiola of Screen Rant, Glenn Iverson, hello. Hello to all of you. We see you, and it's going to be a party today. It's going to be nuts. There's way too much news.
Mhm.
And everybody right now is like, so I don't know, why don't you get to it? Hello, Dracorex. Good to see you, Marina.
Yeah.
All right. Here is what's in the news. First of all, from a website called twitter.com,
Ooh.
the handle is Oh the Profanity. You know her as Shar from Star Trek and Chill, our Friday night show.
Yes.
She says, how the fudge is Star Trek Voyager almost 30 years old?
That is
That's not even a
bonkers.
question.
But is HE double hockey stick a bad word?
Saying it like that is, I think.
Oh,
I think we've definitely said some worse words here.
I think so too.
I think so.
Mostly Melissa. Also, continuing on with that, trekmovie.com posts this on facebook.com. Check this out.
Oh.
Voyager
Great.
Caretaker. Nice little video montage.
Oh,
Look
cool.
at this.
Yeah, get out your deviled eggs.
Look how cool this is. It's a
Wow.
fun little video montage.
Oh, huh,
Oh, that's crazy.
30
Good
years.
job.
Mhm.
Trek movie, and it reads, their post reads, on this day, Star Trek Voyager premiered with the two-parter Caretaker. Genevieve Bujold quit 2 days into filming. Kate Mulgrew took over and had to plunge right in as they'd filmed around her as much as they could. UPN was launched and history was made. Since then, we've had Janeway and Chakotay return on
Mhm.
Prodigy, with the Doctor coming in season 2, Seven and Tuvok on Picard, Neelix in very short treks, and Tom Paris on Lower Decks. Looks like Harry and B'Elanna need to be next. What about Kes?
You know what? Actually, no, I need more Neelix first. But
Hmm.
I don't know.
You do
I'm
like
happy with how
Neelix.
Kes is done.
Well, Kes only had a 7-year lifespan.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's true.
Although, does that still apply for like an energy being or whatever? I don't even.
Right.
I'm still.
Oh, good
unclear
point. Good point.
where-
Yeah, that is a good point. 7 years
just-
of that, and then
I just think
Yeah,
the tough
I
part of
thought
that
she-
is just the actress. I think that's
yeah.
that's the issue there.
Mhm.
Even with voiceover, I think that we don't know much about Jennifer right now, but we do know that she's kind of MIA. So I think people are
Mhm.
just kind of letting her do that. Also, there's Naomi Wildman and
Yeah.
Ensign Wildman.
I was gonna say, B'Elanna and Moral, like her and Tom Paris's daughter. I would love to see that,
Mm.
especially after it's touched on in Endgame.
Yeah.
So here's the
Yeah,
question
definitely.
for everybody in the live chat. Who do you want to see next from Star Trek Voyager in what new Star Trek series? And how do you want them to appear? Do you want B'Elanna and her little rascal showing up on Lower Decks causing havoc everywhere? Do you want to see Harry Kim being a captain on Prodigy? Do you want to see Naomi Wildman as like a samurai or something in going back to the past and Strange New Worlds. I don't know. That's a kind of a tougher sell.
I want to see. I mean, whatever, but I would still like to see Barkley show up somewhere.
Yes, same.
Yes.
Same.
Oh,
Yes.
You know,
yes.
like
Yes.
where has his career taken him in the last 20 years? Like, is he actually in charge of stuff?
Is he going to be the one who saves the day on Prodigy? I love when he saves the day.
I know.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Barkley's a great one. I hadn't
Mhm.
even considered that.
I mean, I know it's like he's sort of peripheral, but not really.
But he was in a good handful of episodes. What would you say, like 5 or
Yeah.
6? Something
Yeah,
like that?
he was like a major part of getting them.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that first
Back
episode where they
home.
finally make contact.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, yes, that's where I always
With
start my
Paris's
rewatch.
dad.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh God.
what's it called? Message in a Bottle.
Yes.
Like in episode 4, that's where my rewatch
Yeah.
begins.
Mhm.
Oh, when Janeway like tears up at the end, it's the best thing in the world.
Mhm.
Oh, my heart.
Mhm.
Oh.
Well, there's we know that EMH is coming in Prodigy. That much we know. Do you guys think there might be a surprise? I mean, it's entirely, but look at Prodigy's got 20 episodes.
They said there are more legacy people coming.
Yeah.
Right.
Mhm. But I mean, from Voyager or,
Oh,
I mean, I'd be all for Barkley, but you know, he's you know, certainly more known for TNG. I remember when I first
Yeah.
saw Barkley the first time on
Me too.
TNG.
you mean
I
broccoli?
loved the guy. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
he's so smart and weird. What a fun character. You're kind of like rooting for him,
Yes.
but then you're also kind of like, he's kind of almost too weird though.
Mhm. Yeah. In retrospect, when you like as an adult, like
Yes.
look at the holodeck programs, you're like,
Well, I would say in
Problematic.
retrospect too, like you kind of start to feel bad for him. Like his
Oh my
coworkers were pretty
God,
mean to
yes.
him. But
Oh
when
my
I
God.
first saw it and I was like 4 or 5, I was like, oh, this is hilarious. They
Yeah.
call him broccoli.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
That was pretty
it's
mean.
actually kind of mean to see now that I'm older.
Oh
But
my God.
yeah.
Yeah.
oh my God, he really shines in Voyager.
Mhm. Yep, absolutely.
I'm like, maybe Deanna shouldn't lead him on with her weird walks in the arboretum with him. That's not that professional.
Everybody wants to walk in the arboretum. That's
I
chill.
don't know. It's like
But
it's
is
weird.
is counseling? I mean,
No,
maybe
it's like
that's a safe,
exactly.
happy space.
Well, no.
Exactly.
She's in boundaries,
Mhm.
especially
tell
with
you
his past behavior.
my two favorite Broccoli moments
Mm.
is, well, that's kind of one of them is when Picard says, Mr. Broccoli, and he goes, oh,
Yeah.
and he felt so bad. We all
Yeah.
felt so
I
bad
love
for
that he
everybody
felt so
involved.
bad too.
I
Yes,
know.
well, that was, and but the other two are when in Genesis, when he turned into a spider and he just positively goes like, you know, like all up in the window.
And then jump scare.
Yes, that was beautiful.
Yes.
With Riker as the Cro-Magnon
Mhm.
or Neanderthal, whatever it was. But then the other one is in Star Trek First Contact when you know, there's Zephram Cochrane and they're doing his thing, and Barclay's just kind of like looking at him and like falling in love, like,
Yeah.
wow, meeting his hero and just kind of creeping him
Yeah.
out. Oh, I loved it.
Oh wait, I thought you meant the episode they get in contact with Earth in the beginning for the first place, but Marina corrects me. The episode with Barkley is Pathfinder,
Right. Yes. Yeah.
which is also
Sorry, I got them.
amazing.
Yeah.
Especially when it's revealed that he's named his cat Neelix.
Oh,
It's
right.
so weird.
Mhm.
That is so cute. I like his cat Felix.
Mhm.
I'm obsessed with Voyager.
But yeah,
Uh,
Oh
Voyager.
god.
Our friend Faith Howell in the live chat says, I will be absolutely floored if Sirach never appears in New Trek, given the number of contacts you guys have and the fact that he's willing
Yes.
and we want to see him. It's just a matter of time, in my honest opinion or humble opinion.
Mhm.
That's interesting. When she said, I would be absolutely floored if Sirach I thought she was going to say does appear, but she's saying
Right.
no. I'd be floored if she did
Doesn't.
not at this point.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that would be nuts.
Especially after you guys talked to this guy and he talked about how they had wanted to bring him in Picard, that they thought that was such a good
Yeah.
angle.
Yeah.
And it
That's
still
true.
is. It still is. Like
Mhm.
it's still such yeah.
It's
And he's
always
such-
sorry, go ahead, Melissa.
It's okay.
It always comes down to really the two things, right? Like I'm sure so many characters and actors get their name thrown into the pot,
Mhm.
when the writers are spitballing, when they're saying, what about this character? What about the, they're kind of piecing things together. But two things. One, like what Terry Matalas said, some of it is budgetary. Then you have to build an entire new group of sets and entire, and locations and all this
Right.
for this extra storyline. But more often than not, it's just like, writing is a very serious craft and it has to make sense.
Mhm.
It has to make sense. So I'm sure that it probably happens all the time where they say, I would love to have this character back, XYZ. And when it makes sense, we'll make that call, but they're not gonna force any issues. They're gonna figure it out because obviously the most important thing is, making a good story and making it all make sense. Because when you just get all your favorite characters and throw them in a pot, and that's called a fan film. We've seen those before, and they're glorious and they're wonderful for what they are, but that's what those are. And when these people like, the writers of Prodigy or Picard or whatever else, Discovery, they're taking the craft of writing seriously. That's first and foremost. And so I'm sure that if and when it makes sense for Jake Sisko to return, they'll make the call because, yeah, you guys are right. Like, it's not hard to find him at this point.
Well, it also like every way they've done it so far, even like the smallest cameo, really like builds on the every character's story arc. And I feel like to that end too, like for example, like in Picard, when everyone was like, how come Jake Sisko isn't the journalist like interviewing Picard? I'm so happy they didn't throw away his character on
I agree.
on a cranky journalist. Like, good.
Well, not just that, but just on one scene.
Yeah.
Because we would have loved it. Then we've been like, oh my God, Jake Sisko's back. This is so cool. But if that's all it ended up being,
exactly.
It's kind of along the lines what Brandon Braga was saying on Saturday about bringing back characters in a way that does pays honor to the character and plays up the character rather than, just to have a cameo for a cameo's sake.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, because I mean, like in Voyager, for example, I mean, Q snaps his fingers and Riker appears, and that was great, but it wasn't a story point. It didn't do anything. I mean, at that point, we still saw him all the day. It wasn't, but same thing. If they did something like that now, that would be just like, ugh. It's not okay.
Our buddy Matt Boardman in the live chat, who created this cool background for all of us, by the way, shout out and thanks to the Matt Boardman. He says, I loved seeing Will back, but it wasn't quite as satisfying as I hoped it would be. That's tough. That's tough because it's a good point. Like sometimes we're getting spoiled with these great things that sometimes it might not be what we were looking for or hoping for. Like some people may have been disappointed that Worf came back a pacifist. I think most of us were like, hey, that's funny. We saw plenty of him being
he freaking like beheaded someone in like one of his first scenes. So I'm kind of like, is that a little bit more of a gimmick or like maybe a pacifist for a Klingon? Maybe it means something different.
Yeah, he's not seeking a fight, but
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But I will end it.
Yes.
The Will Wheaton thing, it's funny. I think myself, I have a lot of, because I loved Wesley and I love Will, and I think my appreciation of them bringing him back in that scene had a lot to do with all of that, because it was watching him, Will Wheaton, getting to do this made me so happy that and just sort of let it like that being Wesley's arc, I was completely satisfied with, but I totally understand
Same.
that isn't necessarily how everybody feels about it.
Same.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember really rooting back in the day for Wesley Crusher to grow up, to become a lieutenant, to really just kind of, hold his own, like especially when the movies were coming out, and we got kind of a glimpse of it, but I remember just really thinking, everybody will be moving up, including Wes. He's going to be some lieutenant, maybe he's going to be in engineering, maybe he'll be in ops, who knows, science. It's going to be exciting to find out. But he turned into a traveler and then revisited that in Picard.
Yeah, and I think it's a cool idea. I just would like to see, I mean, now that I've like gotten over my about it, I would like to see more of what that is like for the character, yeah.
And does he visit his mom? That was like,
yes,
I was dying to know about more than anything.
Yeah, exactly.
Kind of alluded to him not visiting his mom in season 3 of Picard.
Yeah. Which, I mean, when you exist outside of space and time.
Yeah. I mean, like Doctor Who number 11, like pops in to see Amy and Rory occasionally.
Yes, but then he also like stayed in the same place for like 1,000 years, you know. So
what do you think that conversation's like with him and his mom? Because moms, like you don't call, you don't write, you never come by. When we were, I'm really busy. I got, I would.
I'm the better son. I'm always.
He's like a magical traveler being. If he doesn't visit his mom, and she's like, Wesley, how come you never come visit me? He's like, oh boy, I don't have an excuse. I'm a jerk. Sorry, Mom.
I can imagine. Love to see Captain Picard or Admiral Picard still being like a loving figure in his life that he pops by to visit.
Yeah,
that would be nice.
Yeah.
Well, since we're on that subject, we somehow segued from Voyager into Legacy and Picard kind of talk, which is perfect. It was the natural segue. This is from our friends over at trekmovie.com. It's entitled Star Trek Picard spinoff is still not in development, but Terry Matalas has thoughts on what if we did more. So that's an interesting way to put it. I kind of
read that as a like, what if the fans did more? Like you're not trying hard enough.
At first, I read it that way too. Yeah, no, at first I read that too. I was like, wait, did he say what we could do?
Like you guys
remember.
Wait a minute.
Is that how he meant it? I mean, I guess. Okay, yeah, I was gonna say that's not how I took it, but man, that would be, he'd be like, well, it's not in development, but maybe it would be if you guys were just tweeting more. I'm just saying, what if he does
picking up accounts to sign the petition?
Yeah, no, it sounds like he's saying, what if we did do more Star Trek or something like that? So let's see what this is. We'll go right here. What if there were a Picard spinoff? Trek Talks, everybody knows from this weekend, is a marathon of Star Trek panels streamed live on January 13th on YouTube to benefit the Hollywood Food Coalition. Then we've got introduction about the Picard panel. Here we go. Matalas said he would do some things differently, quote, if we were ever to do more. Jonathan Del Arco immediately jumped on the mention of more, but Matalas quickly clarified, quote, I'm not alluding to anything. I wish. There is no spinoff in development.
Fast. Hi, Josh Hatton from CBR. So good to see you.
Hello, Joshua M. Patton out in Pittsburgh, I believe.
Yeah.
So this is an update basically saying that there is no update. Are we to read between any tea leaves and get any nuggets from that? I don't think so, but maybe you guys found something.
Well, he pretty much made it clear during the panel of Trek Talks that there isn't anything to read between the lines on that front yet. But
Yeah.
that doesn't mean there isn't a possibility. We're, as long as the world is still turning, there's hope.
Yeah.
And I think there is some lag in things getting moving again in general in the industry since the strike. I think it's not all just gone whoosh.
Yeah.
That team up, the four of them.
So
I know,
awesome.
I love that picture.
So awesome.
Those are some well-tailored uniforms.
Aren't they?
Are,
I was noticing that too. I was like, that is
nice camp cuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I love Rafi's jacket. Oh my god.
Oh my god, yes.
So great. Yeah.
Okay. Metalis finally jumped in to speak about a follow-up, saying, here's an interesting quote from this Trek movie article. He said, quote, "No, there truly isn't anything to leak. It's interesting because the end of the show, that last scene, although it is a setup for a spinoff, it wasn't designed to be a setup of a spinoff. The right ending for the next generation," I know. The right ending for the next generation is passing the torch to the next generation. And without doing that, it wouldn't feel right. So that was watching literally their children go off on the Enterprise and paying off Seven of Nine's wonderful arc from being Borg to captain of the flagship. That just felt like a proper ending. Metalis immediately started talking about the possibilities a spinoff could offer. Okay, here's where it gets juicy.
Yes.
He says, quote, "I think what's interesting about a series that has been on air for so many decades is the evolution of things. Michael Dorn and I were talking, what if we did more? You think, what's the Klingon Empire like in the early 25th century? The last time they were an allegory to the Russians, kind of. And now, what would they be up to? And what does that mean for Worf? And what does that mean for Alexander? So what's so great about this kind of very, very long format? The fact that Leonard Nimoy played Spock for how many years? I mean, that's incredible. I don't think you ever really need to fully say goodbye to any of these characters or storylines. I think that's what's so special about what we're doing." Actually, that's a really good point because he made it very clear that he didn't want to ever fully say goodbye to any of these characters or storylines because some of the movies of the past did do that. Characters died. Captain Kirk, Data, things, people like that. Picard kind of died in the first season of Picard. There are a lot of shenanigans going on. But Terry Matalas made it clear that he does not want those characters to die. He revives Data in a sci-fi way. And even Ro Laren died, but we didn't see it happen.
Exactly.
Yeah. But which Todd Stashwick picked up the baton with that comment and said, "It's Star Trek. Who really dies in Star Trek?"
Exactly.
Nailed it.
Exactly. All right. Take that, carry it through. All right, here's something interesting. I'm just doing a little math here. Leonard Nimoy played Spock from on screen from 1966 to 2009.
Yes.
Which is 43 years. Michael Dorn and all of those guys, just Michael Dorn as an example in that conversation, they have all played these roles now for 37 years. So it's like,
wow.
Isn't that crazy?
That is crazy.
Yeah.
It is crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are the leading contenders to catch up to Spock.
It's crazy.
I can't think of any other. Actually, well,
if you
can we
say
give
Chekhov
Spock
is Anton Chekhov.
Oh,
Yeah.
what? Oh no, but he didn't play the same
He's not the
character.
same
Yeah.
character.
But otherwise,
I
he
was gonna say the
wins. You're
same
right.
thing. Yeah.
Within the same family.
So if we're talking about character, portraying the same character, then Spock is ahead with 43 years, right?
Yeah.
If we are talking about an actor working in Star Trek as an
That's-
actor,
Mhm.
then we're talking Chekhov from what, like 67 to 2023?
Yeah.
Is that
Mhm.
56 years?
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's
Hardcore.
incredible.
How is he not tired of us yet? This man's amazing. What a patient man.
Okay. Also, we just have to. I'm noticing that Robert Kaiser's been karaokeing again in Austria, and he's walking home from karaoke listening to us and turning
That's
What a
amazing.
downgrade.
say into songs.
Robert Kaiser in the live chat, let us know what karaoke song is currently stuck in your head. So, you know, you walk away,
What's
usually
your
got something,
go-to?
probably something Austrian.
Amazing.
It would be funny if you
Oh.
said ABBA.
Okay, are we done with this topic? Because one Trek fan's in the live chat.
Oh,
Have
one
something to
Trek fan, we have something we've been saving specifically for you, right, Anne-Marie?
Yes,
What is it?
Okay. it has to do with my new favorite thing in the world that I'm keeping open because I love the smell of a new magazine. And it's been so long. So the number one reason I've been dying to get this magazine is because I heard two of my favorite people have like recurring columns. So one is A Fistful of Data, which is Larry Nemeczek. And then the other one is a certain one Trek fan, Lisa Herrera. And it's a page long and it's amazing. Because
Excuse me.
also everyone knows Lisa's like the ultimate collector.
Mhm.
We've all seen the videos she sends in for virtual Trekons and like post pictures, and sometimes she'll change uniform for every panel we do. Like
Mhm.
it's iconic. I'm
It's
just
amazing.
so impressed, and I'm like, oh my god, I never thought in a million years I would know somebody who has a whole page column in the official Star Trek magazine. It's incredible.
I want that chess set. How cute
Mm.
is
Be
that?
humble.
I have
If
it.
had a
I have
page,
this.
I'd have this all the time.
Ah,
I
I
have
got
the
it.
VCR board game.
Me too. I think.
Sure you do.
It wasn't
Oh, I
that one
always
though.
wanted
I think
that.
it was
It's called,
Next
like, Scenic.
Generation.
Yeah. Yeah, the
It was
next
like a
generation
next-
one, the bottom one. The
Oh,
underneath.
yes.
Yeah.
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 I just didn't know
But
how
I
to
got
put the
this
whole
chess
page 'cause I
set.
don't want to get in trouble.
nice.
The three-dimensional chess set's got some interesting rules because you can actually move those little four smaller platforms.
Oh, really?
And yeah, like little spaceships. So
Oh,
you could be like,
way.
you could
Fun.
have, for example, like your bishop up on this level, and then he could be on that little spaceship and come down to like the middle level or the bottom level and attack like that. If I remember correctly,
Oh my gosh.
those things are movable. So you
fun.
could create like a little army. It's
Okay.
like 4 squares. So you could have like a knight and a bishop and a pawn or something like that. That come down and rah.
I
If
want to see
it's
a full
been a while, though.
walkthrough of a game with two people who know the rules. I want
Yeah.
to see
That's
like
That's a VTC panel.
I know.
I'm sure that's on YouTube.
Maybe.
Oh yeah, it probably is.
All right, I'm writing that down. I'm gonna go find that.
Oh,
But anyway,
my
so back to
gosh.
this article.
So cool.
It's really cool that we finally have a Star Trek magazine being published again. Lisa
Yes.
Herrera, congratulations for this one. It's entitled The Collector's Guide. Lisa Herrera explores rare Star Trek merchandise and relics.
Awesome.
Then she
Oh.
includes a quote from George Bernard Shaw. It says, "We don't stop playing because we grow old. We grow old because we stop playing."
It's also like, way to include a
love
classy quote. This is
Oh, I
amazing.
love that.
Can you believe we know someone who has a column, a page article
That's
in
awesome.
the Star Trek magazine recurring? That's like the cool. That's height of cool.
Actually, the best column is Meanie, though. I will say this is one's great, but you know,
I'm like, Lisa so like downplays it. I was like, if this was me, my handle on YouTube would be like, Anne Marie, I have a column in Star Trek magazine. Like telling everybody in the world.
you'd be at Star Trek magazine writer.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's amazing.
Yeah, so congratulations to you, one Trek fan in the live chat, Lisa Herrera. But let's finish up on the legacy talk. Let me ask you guys this. This is what I want to know, because you guys are experts here. Give me a percentage. 0 to 100. Legacy will happen 100% or 0% or anything in between. And if it's not, I mean, if it has a different name, a different title, I mean, Terry Metalis, spearheading a show that is currently considered to be called Legacy.
If it was last June, 100.
Yes.
Wow.
Same.
Pre-strike, 100. Ugh. I have a very enthusiastic 65 at this point.
Okay.
But my
Not bad.
desire is 100.
That sounds like a country song. I'm an optimistic 65%.
Oh my God.
But my desire's a 100%. I don't know.
It's funny that you say country song, because Robert Kaiser says he's the only Austrian that sings American country music for karaoke.
That's amazing. Wow.
They must have some strong drinks in Austria. So, what do you think, Melissa Longo? Got to be objective here. What do you actually think is the chances that this is going to happen?
I'm gonna say I'm usually overly optimistic,
which is great.
So the number that pops into my head is 80%, which leaves 20% for all of the catastrophes that could happen to derail it. And we don't know, because Paramount is in flux,
Yeah.
And it has been in flux, and there's been a strike, and all of this other stuff has been going on. And but the fans want it.
Yeah.
The fans really want it.
Yeah.
In some capacity. So, and the creators of involved want it. So, I mean, that's a huge chunk.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Influential people.
75 at least. Yeah.
Want this to happen. So I'm going to say 80%.
I'm upgrading.
I was going to copy off of Marina Kravchuk and say 50-50.
Yeah.
Finger on the pulse. I don't know. It's so hard to know. But that, I'll tell you what, did up the, I would have said 50-50 until that, Picard or that Patrick Stewart, random thing about him having a script.
Yes.
Then I was like, he doesn't have dementia. I know he no!
Well, that took a dark turn.
He wouldn't just say that out of nowhere.
No, exactly.
But I thought he meant a
no,
movie
if he has
script.
a screen.
Either way.
Well, then maybe
it doesn't have to
movie event.
Exactly.
He was saying he wanted a movie for years now.
And a movie event doesn't preclude a series necessarily.
Right.
Yeah, but I don't think that would be the Legacy series. I don't think they'd be following Captain 7 of 9 or anything like that.
He'd at least be in the premiere to kick it off or something.
Yeah. Yeah. Or even just as a are you guys sure you want to see 25th century Star Trek? And then everyone watches the movie and freaks out and then they make it. I don't know.
Well, the other thing about that panel, going back to that, is just when somebody straight up was like, "Do you still have the set, the bridge set?"
Yeah.
And Terry Metalis was like, "Yes, it's in storage.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure it's in storage."
Smart.
I'm like, "Okay, so
yeah, they do.
I mean, you can't get rid of that though.
Well, they do usually.
Robert Kaiser in Austria says 47% as a guess. That's a good guess. 47%. Because everybody knows that's the Star Trek number. And you guys know that the Rolling Stones remind us that you can't always get what you want. And everybody in the live chat, give us, there's a but in that song, if I remember correctly. Everybody in the live chat, give us your percentages. whether you're doing a full guess, whether you heard something, whether you think, if you just think that you know, or if you're one of those people that's like psychic, you're like, I don't know, sometimes I just know stuff. I can't explain it. I've always been like that since I got hit in the head when I was on my skateboard when I was 7 or whatever it is. Use your magic powers. Give us your best guess, your best percentage.
Well,
Right
I have
now,
to say
I'm going to,
this. Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to give my percentage.
Yes.
And this is just throwing something out there. I'm going to say no idea, but 35%. And I'll tell you why. Because Star Trek seems to have a lot of plans for a lot of shows and a lot of movies that have been in the works for a long time. You know, Section 31. They've been talking a bit about this since what, like 2020, 2019? I don't even know how long it's been, but it feels like it's been forever.
Yeah.
Starfleet Academy, they've been talking about 2 or 3 years, right? And then others, they're talking about audio dramas too. They've been talking about Star Trek 4 or 14 off and on every week for 10 years.
Well, that's what
basically.
Joshua
No.
Patton says. Like, it also could be tied to the movie, like
Right.
the
Or it could be
appearance of
separate.
Picard in that.
That's very
Which
true.
would make me
Well,
wanna
that
more.
would make sense. We'll talk about that in a second because
Yes.
that would make sense. So it's just like there's so many things that are in line ahead of that. And in order for them to put Legacy in there, again, just guessing, they would have to get these other shows that are in development to wait. And they've already been waiting, and they've already been delayed with COVID. They've been delayed by strikes. They've been delayed by a million things. Then, so what we're talking about is, let's say they go, okay, you're in line behind production 7, 8, 9, and 10, you know, which might put them at like 6 years from now. And who knows what's going to happen 6 years from now. Maybe there's going to be a merger. Maybe they're going to say this is too much. You know, streaming is changing a lot and very quickly and constantly for the last few years. Nobody knows really where it's going. We just know that it is going. It's going in that direction, and everybody needs to jump on. So anyway, that's just what I think. Just kind of a total guess, but it just feels like it just feels like there's a lot going on, and they kind of might need to just wait their turn. I don't know. Maybe I'm totally wrong. I have no idea, but just a thought.
But waiting their turn doesn't mean it won't happen.
Right.
True.
Doesn't mean it won't be announced in 2 weeks from now, for all we know. It could absolutely, and we would all squee with joy about it. I don't know, just a guess.
And didn't they fast track Strange New Worlds
Yes.
before other ideas?
It totally did. You're right.
Strange New Worlds,
that-
I think, was one of the reasons that Section 31 didn't happen.
Yes.
Exactly.
And that's another reason why I think that they won't do that, because they've already kind of pushed back other productions to the point where those other productions might be like, you know, poop or get off the pot with us kind of thing.
Hard to say.
But-
It's also a cast that they need, that they already have ready, sort of.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
And
That's pretty prestigious.
Star Trek 4, 14, whatever it is, Paramount 2 motion picture over there. Paramount
Exactly.
Plus is developing
Right.
TV over here, and they only
That's very
technically have
Great point.
Starfleet Academy in development after Section 31 is
31,
in the can, which is
which-
going to happen in the next couple of months.
Which is happening
Yeah.
any day now, because productions filming starts any day now.
Oh my God, it does. Oh yeah. Yeah. So
It only goes 6 weeks.
Mhm. Melissa and I will know what's up.
Yeah, no, I mean that's a very good point. Those are kind of separate entities. But to Anne Marie's point, about maybe Picard is going to
and
be
Josh
in
Patton,
Star
Joshua
Trek
Patton.
14. Oh, Joshua
Yeah.
Patton. Good knowledge,
Which is
Joshua
a
Patton.
brilliant thought.
Because if they were talking, what was it? We were reading something recently about the potential for Star Trek 4 or 14, the next movie to come
Mhm.
out in theaters, being possibly, involving, where did we see that? Where it was possibly involving Chris Hemsworth, right?
Right.
As George Kirk. Well, and we know that years ago they were talking about the next Star Trek JJ movie being a time travel one, and that one ended up going on the back burner because why? Because they couldn't get the scheduling and the pay. I remember the Chris Hemsworth, I think, was too expensive, or there was things like that. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but I
His
think that's
hammer is heavy.
yes.
I didn't mean it that way.
I know.
That was such a
Go on,
cute
Ryan.
moment.
Yeah.
That was such a cute moment though when Captain America almost moves the hammer. Remember?
I love that, yeah.
Thor's like suddenly kind of concerned for a second. That was
Yeah.
adorable.
It's so cute.
But anyway,
I love Thor.
so if we're seeing that, they might be reviving that original script with the time travel, in which case Picard could absolutely be involved. It could be all one and the same. And
Yeah.
all of these different things that they're talking about, and we're saying, so which one is it? It might be all of them in one movie.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Maybe it's not an either or thing.
That's what it was. They were saying that it takes place
Mhm.
decades before the original series, or
Right.
decades before, right? And so
The
that does
first
not
movie, the 2009 movie. Yeah.
right. So that does not preclude itself from also, having Picard in it. It also doesn't take away the possibility of having George Kirk or whomever.
Right. Because it's already playing with timelines. That part of the universe is already playing with timelines and overlapping universes in a sense.
That's fun. I love that idea.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So Faith Howell,
Oh,
ever the stick stirrer, said, "Sorry, Academy," in reference to her previous comment, which is, I would be okay if Legacy jumped the line over Academy. You guys, that's not how this works. When Starfleet Academy comes out, you are going to be like, okay, I get it. I love this show so much, just like you love every Star Trek show. We're going to go nuts for it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm so excited. I got really excited when Tony Newsom entered the writer's room.
Yeah, me too.
For that show.
Me too. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, because now we know this show's going to have a little bit of sass. It'll be smart because she's very smart, but it's going to have some sass to it too.
Yeah. Yeah,
so
exactly.
Hopefully it's not a sappy WP show.
Yes.
Sorry, WB.
Yeah.
But
so we have another news item that is actually
really fast. BL's in the live chat to say they got an order from Walking Art made by Melissa, and it's amazing.
Oh, yay!
Hey.
Great update.
That's awesome.
Okay. I'm so glad. Yay! Thanks for ordering, BL. That's so awesome of you.
And also,
thanks for the update, Anne Marie.
Yeah,
that's
breaking news.
Robert Kaiser.
Breaking news.
Breaking news. Robert Kaiser in the live chat also says, as far as I know, Academy is starting filming in March. Good job there. This guy even knows acronyms in English out in Austria. He has a mastery of the English language. And most of us Americans are like, I can barely master English. I didn't even know to abbreviate that.
Until today.
Yeah.
Take a nap, Melissa. So up next, so this is kind of an update to something that we were asking before, which was in a previous live show, we were talking about Discovery Season 5. And we know that when it got canceled, before it was canceled, they didn't know that Season 5 was going to be the end. Then they found out it was the end. That was it. But they had already shot all of Season 5. So they had to go back and do some additional shoots. And our questions were. I mean, I know what I kind of expected was that maybe they shot some scenes, some little storylines to pepper in throughout the whole season. Just like add, for example, Michael Burnham and Booker, add a scene of them in season 2 falling back in love, and then a little bit more in episode 2, and then again in episode 5, and then episode 10 they get married. They add, for example, they just add that little storyline in that's not there. Okay. Turns out that may not be the case. Here is an article, I think, so we're getting some answers here from screenrant.com. John Orchiola, who is in the live chat, I believe, back at the head. This one is entitled Star Trek Discovery's ending is gonna be gorgeous. Brought Saru actor Doug Jones to tears. So Doug Jones, who plays Captain Saru, said the Star Trek Discovery season finale brought him to tears during his panel on Trek Talks 3. Wait a second, tears. This is going to be amazing. Hang on.
I mean, if that's if that's true, then I'm guaranteed to cry because I'm like obsessed with Saru and Tarina from the second they glanced at each other.
So here's a quote from Saru from this article. He says, "When I went back in to do my ADR voice looping for that final episode to clean up the dialogue and all that we do for every episode, I asked the people in the booth, can you please play the entire epilogue for me so I can see how we end?" Doesn't that seem like a Saru thing to do?
Yes.
First of all,
Yeah.
can you please play the entire thing? I should like to see how, right?
Yeah, I heard it in his voice too.
Yeah.
Totally, me too. And he continues, and by the time it was done, I was doing this, wiping tears. I feel closure. That was great. So, and then he continues, Discovery's epilogue is going to be gorgeous. Okay. So I think the nugget in there, and it's a very tiny nugget, but they're using the word epilogue in there. An epilogue is kind of the opposite answer from what I was guessing, which was peppering things in.
Right.
Kind of mapping out the season and saying, let's add. It sounds like season 5 ends, and then everything that they shot later gets dropped on to the end of episode 10, kind of like he says, an epilogue.
Yeah.
I kind of love that symmetry since Discovery actually started with like that 2-episode prologue.
That's a good point.
That's like a really beautiful way to look at this.
That is a very good point.
Yeah.
Ooh. That's kind of cool. And I mean, if you look at, Star Trek Picard, the story ended like they defeated the Borg and then there was like 15 minutes of
a prologue for Legacy.
Exactly.
I completely agree. And it was like 20 minutes of amazingness, or it was like so ended where I thought it would end, and I was like, what?
I know, I was so excited when I saw how much time was left.
That was the best. That was so happy.
Yeah.
Because like I'm still reeling from like that cold abrupt end of Voyager. Like I really appreciate it.
Yeah. So I feel like doing it this way, there's a lot of potential for it to be beautiful.
Then you guys are gonna love Lord of the Rings. It's basically like a 90-minute, the entire second half of the 3-hour third movie is basically epilogue, right?
It's only like 45 minutes. Come on.
Yes. Oh, I loved it though. I would just want to consume it.
I'm just like, give me every epilogue second of just non-action. We're just looking at them in their daily life.
Exactly.
Well, yeah.
Someone makes a sandwich.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yes.
That's perfect.
I want to know what Detmer's favorite sandwich is.
Someone just let Detmer relax on a couch watching TV.
Oh my God, right?
Yeah.
That's what they should do.
Happy.
Yeah, it doesn't even have to be anything too crazy in the epilogue. Just like Right. Like Detmer sitting down and be like, oh, and
Those
kind of like
5
unbuttoning a
years.
couple buttons
Yeah.
and open up some ice cream and be like, geez,
Yes.
this has been a
Fucking
stressful
hell.
5 years. I
Root
need a
beer.
break. Yeah, just
Yes.
like
And
she's
root
pouring
beer.
like Captain
Absolutely.
Crunch in her pint of ice cream and just be like, I just need a break, you guys.
Yeah,
Oh,
Starfleet told them
phone
they're
off.
not even allowed to serve for at
Yeah.
least another year.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like a baby.
Mirror Universe Giorgio is just grabbing a giant vat of Kelpian ganglia.
And then we see Linus heading towards the sonic showers or sneezing on his way there.
That would be nice, though.
Oh, and at the very, very end, the door opens and Prime Universe Lorca comes out.
My God, I would love that.
And it goes black.
Jackpot. I can't believe how busy Jason Isaacs is. Like
I
every day
know.
every day I look at the news, it's like he has some new score. Like the
Mhm.
Archie billboards are up in Times Square, which is so rare to see for a
That's
British
really
show.
cool. Yeah.
And that he's like in the new season of White Lotus, which I already was like
right.
gushing to Ryan about. Like,
Mhm.
oh, I got more Jason Isaacs. I'm obsessed with him.
She is. So can confirm. But part of this epilogue, what I'm thinking is a lot of it might actually be a jumping off point. For example, Starfleet Academy.
Sure.
We might see, just imagine, what if we see Tilly, you know, she's going and then she walks in and she goes to Starfleet Academy and Admiral Vance, was it? Is there
Vance
and
refrigeration.
right. And so he's there and he says like, welcome to Starfleet Academy. You start tomorrow, whatever it is, right? And then imagine another character from Discovery joins her.
Oh,
Because she can't be the only one. She
that does seem
can't be, there's
crazy.
gotta be somebody else. Matt, what if like Bryce, you know, or Reese or Jet Reno, you know, it's one of these people, or
I'd
Linus.
have to be able to tell the difference between Bryce and Reese to tell you which one.
Yes.
They're always back there.
I'll
Yeah.
never know.
Actually, Bryce was no longer on the show for
lost?
season 4.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Replaced.
What's the new guy's name?
Mm-hmm. Or even for Section 31, right? We could see Giorgio popping up and saying, you know, walking in, she's like a dark figure, and then she walks up to somebody and he turns around and it's Ash Tyler and she's like, come on, we got work to do. And it's like continuing in Section 31 or something like that. It's all kinds of stuff.
Ooh.
All right. So everybody in the live chat, let us know. Oh, wait, hang on. I think they are letting us know. Because Dave Gregory says your ideas are fire, Matt Boardman. So that means he's got some pretty... He says, Matt Boardman says, I want Book to come in and start giving Saru a bad time and have Saru stand up and go, Michael. I don't get it.
Really good Saru impression.
And that's the end.
It was really good. That's it.
Joshua M. Patton says, here's my question. Does Starfleet Academy get a backdoor pilot episode in Disco 5, season 5?
I mean,
if there was 26 episodes, I'd be like, have at it. But
right.
So
I would have... I thought for sure it was going to.
It already was starting to.
And
then it feels like we're definitely going to get one in season 5. But I feel like, hasn't it not been confirmed? But then I was guesting on another podcast and people who are seem to be more in the know were like, well, we just know it's there. It's going to be in Discovery Universe. And then I'm like, do we? Wait, what?
Well, we knew.
We do.
The announcement that they, the announcement that they put out when they first said, okay, this is what's happening, this is the official, this is actually happening.
Yes.
And it was saying the Starfleet Academy has been closed for
exactly
X number of years. Like
it was like 900 years or something like that.
Yeah,
And
or
that's how we
however it's
know.
long it's been since the burn, basically. Yeah.
Now, it's
Okay.
possible it could be 900 years from discovery and they just go into the
Right.
41st century, but
Okay. Yeah. I
Mhm.
forgot about that.
probably.
Yeah.
Mhm. That's kind of what locked that in for
Yes.
us.
Mark Ferguson says, I hope Boothby has grandkids that appear in Starfleet Academy carrying on the tradition.
I'm just so interested
That'd
that
be
like
very
those
cool.
kids, those Starfleet Academy cadets that like Tilly was helping in that
Mhm.
episode, like especially that Orion kid. I was like so intrigued, like, will they come back? I thought they were really good. And that was
Yeah.
a strong episode.
Mhm.
Like, I don't
Here's
know.
another piece of news, everybody. Check this out, by the way. Yesterday, January 15th, 2024. Feels like we're in the future at this point. 2024.
So
Feels like
weird.
the beginning of a movie. In the year 2024,
Yes.
people don't even, I don't know,
It's a
whatever.
movie called Past Tense,
Yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's true.
and some stuff happens. Yeah.
So, yesterday, January 15th, 2024, the Seventh Rule podcast turned 5 years old. It's the 5-year anniversary of that fateful day when Aaron Eisenberg finally got all the cats herded together to do and premiere the first episode of the Seventh Rule. Since then, there have been 261 T7R episodes. That's the flagship show with all the Deep Space Nine episodes, and now Next Generation and original series episodes. There's been 136 of the T7R2 episodes, which is all the new stuff. Lower Decks, Picard, Discovery, Strange New Worlds, Prodigy. Over 100 celebrity guests, 21,000 subscribers, close to 2 million views, 500,000 downloads, over 100 panels and interviews on top of all that. 5 virtual Trekons. A 5th one is happening next month. The Lappy Awards, the Cisco Day. Man, that is a lot of stuff. That's quite the 5-year mission.
Yep.
Oh,
I know. When I saw his face in there, I was like, oh my gosh.
that's
Yay.
perfect. Thank you. I can't believe I didn't. I was like so busy like enlarging on my phone that I missed like the parts
Yeah.
around the 5. I just realized. Oh, darn no.
So that was big news, a lot of fun. It's crazy that it's been 5 years already. So what that means, Sirach Lofton pointed out a couple days ago, that means the 7th rule is at episode 397.
Wow.
With the main show and the secondary show with all the new Star Trek, 261 or one. Is it really 261? Geez, 261 and 136. So in a couple weeks, we'll be hitting episode 400. I mean, unless you count all the
Amazing.
interviews, all the panels,
Yeah.
all the
Right.
CNFs, then we're more like at like 700.
A
But
million. Yeah.
anyway, so that was big news, big fun. Everybody go to the 7th Rule Facebook page and see how many faces you can name. You could probably name
The
all of
memories
them.
of those like was one of the fun parts. There were some
Yeah.
that were like during the early part of the pandemic when like this was
Yeah.
literally all there was to look forward to. And I was like,
Right.
oh, there was that Kim Freeman one, or there was
Yeah.
when Sid first came on and called action figures dolls.
I
So-
love that.
that was like, oh my god, some of those moments were like such brightness in really dark times, at least, especially in New York. Oh.
Yeah, and there were some that were pre-pandemic. Was there even a time pre-pandemic?
I
Yes.
know.
Doesn't feel like there was, but there was. So that was a good time had by all. Everybody make sure you are subscribed to the 7th Rule podcast on YouTube and wherever you find your audio podcasts. Here's another news item from our friends over at trekmovie.com.
I'm obsessed with this.
Watch Paul Giamatti audition for Star Trek recreates his iconic Merlot moment in
I'm not
Klingon.
drinking any
What?
fucking Merlot. God, I
Sideways.
love that movie so much.
It's a
Tell us
good
about
movie.
this one, Doctor.
Well, as you know, he's been winning all these awards for Best Actor
Mhm.
from the Holdovers. Is that? I can never remember the exact name, which I have to see still because anything with Paul Giamatti, I have to see. And apparently, he was doing a press junket after one of his wins, and somebody like co-op like got control of the question and was like, "Hey, do you want to be in Star Trek or something?" And he said yes and proceeded to talk about Klingon stuff.
Nice.
It's just amazing. And I mean, obviously, like people are still talking about when this sort of similar thing happened with Nicolas Cage, and people are still demanding that he gets called to be in it. And I feel like these are people who would really shine if Star Trek does make movies, like kind of how like Christopher Lloyd or Christopher Plummer, like big bads.
Oh yeah.
It's just super fun. I love that Star Trek is coming up at press junkets when people are talking to the best actor. It's just like that's how I don't want to say pervasive. I'll say ubiquitous, not pervasive.
Yes.
But that's how ubiquitous Star Trek is just in the world, and it is prestigious. I love it. He's amazing. He's so fun. I'm like, yeah, he only wants blood wine.
I wish I remembered what ubiquitous meant now.
It's like it's everywhere.
Everywhere
like,
in everything.
Yeah, like
omnipresent?
Sort of. No. It's just like
they're the culture.
Yeah.
Okay. Fine.
You want a definition?
Have your big words.
Let's up the exact definition.
Because if you say it's something that's everywhere, that sounds like omnipresent, right?
Yeah, but omnipresent is more.
It's like dust.
Yeah.
Like
okay.
a deity.
It's like dust. Is that what you said?
Oh, yeah. It's like it's more. I don't know.
Oh, here's a good one. Cowboy hats are ubiquitous among the male singers. Oh my god! At Robert Kaiser's karaoke.
So it's kind of like that movie because it says existing or being everywhere at the same time.
Yeah.
Isn't that movie that
everything everywhere all at once?
Yeah. It should just be called ubiquitous. All right. Anyway, here is the next item, everybody. This is pretty interesting. It's from a website called facebook.com. This was posted by Trek Central.
Yes.
They say Strange New Worlds filming director Jordan Canning shared another teasing BTS shot as filming on Strange New Worlds season 3 episode 2 continues. Classic bar scene incoming. Well, Jordan Canning, everybody knows, she directed, among others, she directed Charades. That was season 2, episode 5. Might have been my favorite episode of the season. Really great stuff. We love Jordan Canning. She was on The Seventh Rule, joined us for that episode review, along with Ethan Peck also did join us for that one. So here is the shot. Already looks amazing.
Yes. Ooh. I mean, it is just gorgeous. This must be a big episode. I feel like they've been prepping, and I mean, I guess Monday was a holiday, but still.
Even just the color.
Gorgeous.
So well.
Oh, Monday isn't a holiday here.
Oh, well, I don't know. It just because we definitely showed a picture last Tuesday.
Day 7.
Look at that.
I mean, those ice cubes.
Yeah, that's nice. That's cool.
I want to go there. This is high end.
And that spaceship on the side.
Yeah, that's so cute. It's so like mid-century modern.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Is that a shaker?
Where?
Yeah, it is. That's awesome.
Ooh, is that going to be in your Strange New Worlds box?
On the left.
Oh, this? Yeah. Looks like a rocket ship shaker.
Yeah.
It's so cute.
Oh.
Okay, Jenny R. Johnson.
It looks a little bit like Ibar.
What color is this?
Well,
are you gonna say
Well, I'm not gonna-
Aquamarine again?
It's no, not aquamarine, ultramarine. That's those are totally different
Ultramarine.
colors. Yeah, ultramarine. But yeah, there's ultramarine, but there's also like purpliness and
Yeah.
like I don't have a color name for it because there's indigo. Like
Yeah.
if I was gonna mix that, that would be like 4, 5, or 6 different
Yeah.
colors happening there.
Well, also, yeah, because like if you'll notice, and obviously as a painter, you have to notice these things.
Mhm.
You'd be using like pink here. You'd be
Exactly.
using like a dark blue here, purple here, kind of there's almost some peach right in
Yep.
there.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
And
What
bits
a
of
hard
white.
job.
I
Yeah.
just feel like this
Right.
is I'm listening to Enterprise Incidents a ton, which is the Scott Mance like Scott and Steve show where they
Mhm.
do like really super in-depth TOS watches with like a history context. And they talk so much about Fred Freiberger and like the lighting he did and how it just gave like it's so iconic and unique for TOS.
That's
and I
cool.
feel like seeing this picture really reminded me of that. Like so I feel like it's really innovative. And like when the Critics' Choice Awards was this weekend and Bill Wolkoff showed like the clip of like all the nominees getting shown, and I was like, Strange New Worlds just popped. Like the colors on it everywhere,
Mhm.
the lighting, it's just
Mhm.
brilliant, and it gives such a like fresh take on. There's nothing like it on TV.
Yeah,
In the same way,
definitely.
TOS, like there was nothing that looked like TOS on TV.
Mhm.
You know who else is a great podcaster is our friend Dr. Trek, Larry Nemecek.
Mhm.
Check this out. Check this out. On dailystartreknews.com, Larry Nemecek wrote himself an article. How cool is that?
Mhm.
Guest post, Larry Nemecek warns of the dangers of being too passionate about Star Trek. This is an important article to read, I think, for some of us.
Is
Oh, and going back to Strange New Worlds, like one other thing is Dan Liu has arrived in Toronto, which I didn't share the
Wow.
pictures because today was like he brought his son to work day and it's really cute. His son is like getting beamed up and in the captain's chair.
Oh, that's awesome.
But that must mean he's going to direct episode 3. I hope, at least I hope. I love all his Picard and Strange New Worlds episodes.
He's one of the few people that has directed, I believe, Picard and Strange New Worlds,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
And For All Mankind. He's amazing.
Right.
Whoa,
He's so
that's
great.
legit.
Yeah, trifecta.
So the Larry Nemecek article, everybody go check that out for yourselves. dailystartreknews.com. Seems like it's therapeutic. Seems like it's something you can read on your own time and really dive into. Just wanted to make sure to point that out because Larry Nemecek is such a rad dude.
And he's the voice of reason.
Yeah.
yes, there is some wisdom, not just some, a lot of wisdom in that article.
Tell us a bit of it if you've got it.
Oh, well, he was just talking about how Trek always goes through these phases of vitriol with past past Star Trek fans, and how, you know, when TNG was coming up, there was, you know, all this rah against TNG, and then when Deep Space Nine came up, it was rah, and then the same with Enterprise, and then the same with Disco. But he said, you know, relax a bit, give it some time, and you know, and maybe be nicer to each other if you have a differing opinion on what classifies Trek. So
yeah, definitely.
Feeling that like at least around like everywhere that I happen to notice that it actually feels like it has been chilling out. Like I feel like peak of that was Discovery, and it's actually like been going like it's been getting more positive.
Yeah.
As people also get used to the fact that there are different shows and they are different.
Right. Yeah.
And that it doesn't
like not constant negativity.
Yeah.
Right. And he did say that we were getting used to social media and getting used to streaming and getting used to having everyone having this megaphone.
Yes.
on the typewriter or the keyboard. So yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, all great points. But here is another item that has some great points on it.
Hmm.
It's a comm badge, which has 3 points. But here's what's interesting about this comm badge. We have proof that Star Trek is on Mars because the Curiosity rover from NASA captured a rock shaped as a Star Trek communicator badge on January 9th, 2024. Coincidence? Impossible.
Absolutely.
The experts at NASA have deemed this not a coincidence and not a naturally forming object, but a Star Trek alien that has come to show us that they exist by putting that Starfleet comm badge there. I mean, that's you can read the article yourselves. I'm not 100% sure that that's what it says, but it's probably something like that. That is from space.com, so you know it's legit.
I'm still raw about talking about Mars from Things season finale, which was like out of control, and Mars was like going crazy. So I'll have to think about that later. It was such a Deep Space Nine level season finale. Oh my gosh.
What about Mars from The Expanse? What movie or TV show depicted Mars in the most fun and interesting way? There was also that John Connor Disney movie that was showing like life on Mars, where they had like these weird flying spaceships and he could jump like 300 feet, which was really, really weird. But or there was Total Recall, where they're on Mars and he's like, when his face was getting sucked off.
Oh my gosh, that's Ghosts. Ghosts, they always use sucked off.
Yeah.
Like, both in the UK and the American version.
How did this happen?
So fun.
You said
I'm
like his eyeballs were getting sucked out. It's like
you said sucked off.
True.
Off of his face.
Face sucked off. Yeah.
But I'm a secret fan of like Robinson Crusoe on Mars, which is like this horrible movie from the 60s.
Oh, crazy.
I'm sure has been on like science fiction, or what's it called? Science. The one where like all those like people watch a movie in the front row and make fun of it.
Mystery Science Theater.
Mystery Science Theater.
Yeah. The
They're
Martian.
not people though.
That's
the
true.
Martian.
It's a guy and a
good.
bunch of robots. Yeah, true.
Oh right, I did see that.
Yeah.
But as Melissa was saying, Ghosts on Paramount Plus.
Right.
Check it out. A lot of people are loving that show, by the way.
Yeah,
both of them.
Lots of awards.
Both of them.
So good.
So good.
Okay, hang on. We've got an update here. Our buddy Faith Kim, Faith Howell in the live chat, found this item, which is, check this out, everybody, on Amazon.com. It's the rocket ship cocktail shaker.
That is so cool. Oh my gosh.
Oh my god, it's on sale.
Nice.
Those glasses are cute
so
too.
Cool.
Yeah.
Wow,
awesome.
good. Wow, that's exactly it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Wow.
You can tell from the little holes at the bottom there.
great.
That's stylish.
Wow, good job, Faith.
I like that.
That's awesome. Wonderful.
So you can have your very own
Put that in my
Strange New
cart.
Worlds cocktail. Yeah, put that in my
That's
cart.
Matt Boardman
All right.
says the cocktail ship is landing.
Yes.
Mhm.
Amazing.
Well, let's talk about
Another
the
missed
week
opportunity.
ahead. Also, everybody, before we do that, actually, here's another huge announcement that some people may know, others may not. Virtual Trekon 5 is coming in just 4 short weeks. Aren't all weeks the same length? Nope, that's impossible. So February 15th through 19th, 2024, it's 5 days virtual convention. It's going to be like 10, 12, 14 hours of programming every day for 5 days straight. It's going to be nuts. It's going to blow your minds. You're going to love it. It includes the 2024 Lappy Awards, the Star Trek Awards show. It's live. That is on February 18th at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Everybody, do not miss that. check it out. virtualtrekcon.com. We're going to be updating the guest list, the schedule real soon. Very soon, we will be announcing all of these participants. But let me just tell you, it's going to be a ton of them. A ton. I mean, some people that know math are like, a ton. Wouldn't that just be like 12 people that are like 180 pounds each? Well, yeah.
Is it a
But
metric ton or an imperial ton?
I know. It's confusing. What we mean is a lot, like dozens of them. And it's going to be amazing. You guys are going to love it. So let's talk about the week ahead very quickly. First, yesterday, during the 5-year anniversary for the 7th Rule, on the 7th Rule YouTube channel, we released our full mailbag episode. It was our first and only mailbag episode ever, and it was a ton of fun with myself, Melissa, Sirach, and Denise Crosby. It was a mailbag episode about the first 2 seasons of the original series because we had just finished the original series. TNG, you're right. Thank you. TNG, the next generation. And so we talked all about that, answered a lot of questions. We had some fun talks about data. You'll never guess what Denise Crosby's favorite data moment was. You probably will guess, honestly. It's specifically one line that he but you'll have to watch the video to find out if your guess is correct. That is on the 7th Rule YouTube channel. The entire thing is there. Mailbag episode, ton of fun. Then tomorrow on the Falling Tower YouTube channel, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern time, we've got our review of, oh, here's a fun one, Frasier on Paramount Plus. Not Frasier from Cheers, not Frasier from right after Cheers, but Frasier from again in 2023 and 2024. Yes, he's back. Paramount Plus, Melissa Longo is our special guest. You may know her. So myself, Melissa, and Mohammed, we review Frasier on Paramount Plus, and that is on the Falling Tower YouTube channel, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern time. Then on Thursday on the 7th Rule YouTube channel, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern time, we'll have a cool Throwback Thursday Deep Space Nine interview with some special guest or guests from Deep Space Nine. You're going to love it because we love Deep Space Nine. And then on Friday, come right back here on this Virtual TrekCon channel, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern time for Star Trek and Chill. We talk about Star Trek, we have a beverage, and we chill. There's a lot of chilling going on. It's great. Does anybody know what a chillum is? Somebody in the live chat. I'm going to say 4 people in the live chat know what a chillum is. If you know what a chillum is, tell us right now in the live chat. Okay. Star Trek and chillum. Then on Sunday at 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 p.m. Eastern time on the 7th Rule YouTube channel, we will premiere our first segment review of Star Trek The Next Generation, Season 3, Episode 5, The Bonding. James, The Bonding. Gonna be a good time, everybody.
It's not S&M.
Nope.
Melissa. She gets sassy on Tuesdays. Melissa, can you tell
More
everybody
so
where
than
they
Fridays.
can... Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I love it.
Today.
It's awesome.
Yeah. Tell everybody where they can find all your sass.
Oh, at Melissa Longo on social media, Malissa, and the introvertedrepublic.com. There's a lot going on there, a lot of changes and shifting, and Walking Art Made by Melissa on Patreon. Yeah.
All right. So a few people in the live chat are getting this right about the chillum. Glenn Iverson says, it's just a pipe dream. Nice reference there. Joshua M. Patton says, I do. I had a hippie uncle. Shag840 says, weed related? Maybe.
I still...
If that's... It's
Well,
just kind of a, yeah, it's like a long smoking device utensil kind of hippie thing
Huh.
where it's just like a long wooden tube and they have like a rock in there that
Hmm.
it's interesting. Doesn't have to be weed related, be tobacco.
Hmm.
Anyway,
Like
Jenny R. Johnson, where can
in
people
the
find you online?
20s?
Yes.
Like a thingy with the ding
The
ding.
20s? I don't know.
Like a what are those things? Cigarette holder
yes.
thingy.
Oh, like in Breakfast at Tiffany's.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like
We'll find
Melanie.
you, Jenny R. Johnson.
Sorry, my cat's making noise. Sorry, bud. Where am I? I am everywhere. I'm everywhere. I'm on social media at Jenny R. Johnson Art, except on Twitter where I am Jenny R. Johnson. I'm also, you can find me through my website where you can get art. Some t-shirts, not this color, but other ones.
Art.
Art. I make paintings and sell prints of the paintings, but I also sell paintings. I have some paintings for sale. Anyway, that's jennyrjohnson.com.
Wow. You should paint the same way you talk. That would be
I
amazing.
know.
It'd be like colors everywhere, handprints.
I panic every single time.
Oh, it's great though. Dr. Anne Marie Siegel, what about you?
At Anne Marie Siegel 1 on Twitter,
Mhm.
or shopping
No.
for cocktail shakers on Amazon. That's
Totally.
amazing. Well, those TNG,
Oh,
like all those TNG pops, there's that account on Instagram that like tracks them down where they were purchased. And those are the
Mhm.
kind of things that also were like probably around $30. But if you go back now and like try
Yeah.
and buy them, you're spending thousands for like a wall sconce
Yeah.
in some of these orders. So I'm like,
Yep.
ooh, will I regret it if I don't get it in like 30
Oh my
years?
God, yeah. Or like the teapot. I want the teapot with the mugs, like the
Yes,
cups that fit in.
exactly.
what's a wall sconce?
You know, like those things that are like on the wall and like, didn't you ever play Sims?
I
They're like
don't know
expensive on
anything
Sims.
except for
It's
music and
amazing.
sports. I don't know anything
There are
else.
those things on the wall and they like have, I mean, they're basically like wall lamps that are attached to the
Yeah.
wall.
Oh,
Like
okay.
yeah, like it's like a glass, usually like a glass thing, and then there's a light bulb behind it, but it's stuck on the
Sometimes
wall
it's
instead of
metal.
sticking off the
They have
Yeah.
their own name. They can't just be
Yeah.
called lamps.
Sconces.
Yeah.
Sconces. They're always decorative.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Guess which state has the most
You
of
don't
them?
follow Wisconsin. You don't follow Twitter accounts about wall sconces in Star Trek. What's wrong with you? I mean, Instagram accounts. What's wrong with you? You don't have them on first alert.
Nope. So everybody, you could find me on Twitter. That's twitter.com at RyanTGHusk. Once again, that's at RyanTGHusk, where I will be following the Wall Sconce Twitter, and maybe I'll follow it on Instagram as well.
Nice.
Or you can just find me on at Virtual Trekon, at The Seventh Rule, or at Falling Tower on your favorite social media, but especially right here on YouTube, everybody. Well, that's about it for us. We
Okay, really
appreciate all
fast.
you.
It's
Yes.
at Star Trek Design, as people are asking in the live chat. At Star Trek
Nice.
Design on Instagram. It's so good.
Wow, that's awesome. That's great. At Star Trek Design. Cool. Thank you, Fran, Bob, War Dog, Glenn, BL, Dave, May, Borello, Chuck A, Shag, Faith, John. We see all of you. Chris, thanks for hanging out with us. Ben Genium, cool name. We will see you all soon. Just Rosie. I think that's it, right? Remember, everybody, when you are looking for the sconce capital of the internet, put it on the main viewer.
Scott's reporting.
Sconce posting.
Goodbye.